Rancho Mission Viejo is the last city in all of Orange County, and it is honestly one of the best. Like, they learned so much from everybody else's mistakes. So in this video, we're going to be going through the pros and cons of the city of Rancho Mission Viejo. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Christian. I'm a team leader and owner of Onyx Homes. We've helped over 800 people move all over Southern California just since 2020. Now, I make these videos in this channel all about Orange County just so that we can help you make your next move a little bit easier so you can make better decisions. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to give you the stats, the basic, like the good information, the basic information, but I'm also going to give you a heavy part of this is going to be from the perspective of a real estate agent helping a ton of people in this area. So let's get into it. I'm going to hit the pros first, and then we're going to get into the cons. Now, I've got my website pulled up here, and I got a lot of different stuff to share. So I live not in Rancho Mission Viejo, but I live in Ladera Ranch, which is a neighboring city. And Rancho Mission Viejo took a lot of what Ladera did really well and made it even better. So I'm going to share a lot of that here too. So pro number one, new homes. So it's a new community. They started construction in 2013, and newest homes were really built, like the first phase was built like 2015, 16-ish. Like, fun fact, I went to college in that time. I grew up in San Juan Capistrano, and I came back to my 2 years in Monterey Bay, and like there was a new city like right where I would live, which was crazy. But they're new, like almost the whole entire city. The oldest homes are going to be built in 2013. So that's a massive, massive pro for a lot of people. Now, on top of that is they all have very, very new like floor plan styles, right? The layouts follow all of the rules for new construction. And what I mean by that is like very open concepts and a lot of that. And with that is it's not like just cookie cutter like Rancho Mission Viejo. They did a very good job, as did Ladera, of not making everything look the same. So while it's all new construction, like Irvine gets a really bad rap for like, it literally looks like somebody just copy and pasted the whole city, which it absolutely does. Rancho Mission Viejo has a lot of character from the different neighborhoods, right? So that's pro number one. Let's go ahead and do this. Let me show you some houses. So I'm gonna go to our website here, onyxhomes.com, and I'm gonna type in Rancho Mission Viejo. Now, I will give you a forewarning here that Rancho Mission Viejo, I will preface Rancho Mission Viejo and Ladera Ranch together a lot. They're very similar concepts in cities, but you will often see that Rancho Mission Viejo does not show up as a city, even though it necessarily should. Sometimes you'll see Mission Viejo, or you'll see like Trabuco sometimes, just so you know, if you see that on our website. Rancho Mission Viejo is also built in phases, which I'm skipping ahead to another pro here, but there's way more to come. So the first phase, let's go ahead and zoom out actually before I get into the phases. So Rancho Mission Viejo is in pretty much the southmost point of Orange County, but it is also southeast. So naturally, like if you look at the map here, how Orange County is laid out is it's really skinny down at the bottom in San Clemente and San Juan, and then it kind of balloons out. So even though we are technically way inland, we're really still super close to the beach. Now, this is something a lot of people have a really hard time understanding. But if you look at a straight line, like for example, I just finished filming a video on Orange, and Orange is all the way over here. And people will think, oh, Rancho Mission Viejo is so far out of the way. It's like, well, you're literally like twice as close to the ocean. Like, this is just as close to the ocean as like Fountain Valley is, to be honest, like, which is kind of crazy. Certainly than Irvine. It's about the same distance to the ocean as Irvine. It just, a lot of people don't think it feels that way, which is understandable. But anyway, all right, so we've got our kind of surrounding cities, Coto de Caza, Ladera Ranch, and then south would be technically San Clemente and San Juan Capistrano. But you can see the different, I'm not gonna click on the houses, but you can see very light and bright, lots of townhome condos, and really, really open floor plan designs. That's what you're gonna see all the way throughout. You're gonna see a really good mix, townhome condos, and honestly some of the best 55+ communities. So that pro number one, that is it. New modern design. I'm also going to throw in there's one of these other pros in here, is planned growth. So if I look at the map here, I was talking about the different phases. So this phase here is called Sendero, and this was the very first phase. This was so this is the oldest one. This was built in 2013-ish to 15. This second phase is Esencia. So this whole section here is known as Esencia. This is where most of the amenities are at as of right now. And then you have this third phase, which is not nearly as big as Esencia, probably about the same size as Sendero. And this is Rienda. So this is the third phase. And as you can see, there's still like roads being built that don't, like, look how much of it's still bare, like most of it, at least from the time of the satellite. And you can tell from where the houses are for sale that there's nothing for sale where that dirt is. Now there's two, I believe there's two more phases coming. I believe what we're going to end up seeing is they're going to go on this side of Ortega Highway. If I remember correctly, this is off the top of my head, that is the future planned growth. So that's another pro, is we're going to have more growth in the city, which is overall really, really good if you're going to be a homeowner there. All right, now this is probably the biggest pro adjacent to like new construction being super popular. So this is there's resort style amenities, like legit resort style amenities. If you just look at kind of some of the videos playing here, there's a lot of different things here, but you have, I think the Hilltop is probably the most impressive the clubhouse in any city that I've been to. And I'm talking city amenities, not like a neighborhood amenities. The whole city gets access to this. So if we just look here at, I'm on the Rancho Mission Viejo website looking at the amenities. There you go, you can see their kind of site map. You have all kinds of different stuff. This is a picture from the clubhouse. The Hilltop is what it's called. And there's a lot of other stuff. Like there's an arcade here, there's the gym, there's the spa, there's the like the coffee shop / I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes, I mean, a lot. I'm not gonna go into everything on this video because honestly, there's just so many different things. But you can check it on their website as well too. We also have a full breakdown on our website as well too. Here's what they did really well is, like, if we go back, when they built Rancho Santa Margarita, they built it really family first. They did the same thing with Aliso Viejo. And the next city that they master plan community that they built after that was Ladera Ranch, which they hit the nail on the head with Ladera Ranch. They really just did one, in my opinion, living there. They did one thing wrong. All the amenities in Ladera Ranch are geared for little kids. And I mean like less than height, like middle school and younger. There's skate park, water park, dog parks, several different clubhouses, tons of pools, but like not anything really for adults. And when they built Rancho Mission, but the one thing that Ladera did fantastic was they oriented the type of houses, the floor plans, the layouts for the community to actually know each other. So like the joke is in Ladera, like there's people playing cornhole in every single cul-de-sac, right? Like there's just such community feel. Rancho Mission Viejo also has that. They have all of those things, and the amenities that they did in Rancho Mission Viejo are, yes, super friendly for families, but they're like for adults, which like huge benefit that I mean, I can list out all this stuff, but like you can take a look at it. We're gonna have it on the video as well too, but like that's the thing that they did really, really well in Rancho Mission Viejo. And that's why this pro is resort style amenities. It's not like, you know, little kid petting zoo amenities. This is like the Hilltop is a cool place to go hang out. Obviously great for the kids as well too, but like you as an adult, you and I would love to go hang out there as well too. All right, next thing, scenic setting. This is the next pro I'm gonna talk about. And Rancho Mission Viejo honestly, it's in a beautiful area. It's very much like hillsides, and you kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. And I think this is where like there's cons coming to this regard as well too, is and I will foreshadow, but a lot of people feel like you're in the absolute middle of nowhere, and it feels like you are, especially depending upon where you come into Rancho Mission Viejo from. Let me explain. So there's only two different ways to get to Rancho Mission Viejo, really. So if I go back to the map, you've got the 5 freeway, which is the main freeway through California, and then you got the 74, which is the Ortega Highway. So if you were to come in from the Ortega Highway, you would be coming in from coastal. So you're either coming from Dana Point, you know, Laguna Niguel, or San Clemente, basically, and you're driving inland. So you'll drive through San Juan Capistrano, which through Ortega is very nice. There's nice houses there as well too. And then you'll get to like this big, beautiful, brand new city. And you'll be like, oh wow, this is cool. Having said that, if you are coming from the north, which by nature, with this being so far south, most people are coming in from the north. Okay, so here's what will normally happen is you would like leave Irvine, for example, and you'd be coming down the 5 in Irvine, and then you'll probably get routed to the 133 to the 241. So you went in Irvine, which is already inland-ish, and then you get on this toll road and you just go so far out of the way, east. And then what nobody really realizes is you just head straight south towards the ocean through like, you really feel like you're way out of the way if you go this way. And then you get to Rancho Mission Viejo, and visually, a lot of people will come in the Los Patronos, which is the 241 toll road, and just turns into the street. you're literally in a canyon separated from everything else. Like, you don't even know there's another, you might as well be in like the next state over, is how it feels. And I think this is why there's such a disconnect on where it actually is, where Rancho Mission Viejo actually is with the feel. So like, I put this as a pro because I think the scenic feel is gorgeous out there. Like, if you like hillside and you like vastness, which we don't really get in Orange County, because honestly, the hillsides that we do get, like you will like up in Yorba Linda, Anaheim Hills, Coto de Caza certainly has the same feel as Coto de Caza. It's just not gated. That's an easy example. If you know Coto, if you don't know Coto, you're like, it's just very vast and pretty. If I could find a house like let me just go price high to low and see if I can find a view. Like, here's a good example. Ventada is one of the streets in Esencia that has just phenomenal views, but this is looking towards civilization, if you will. Like, this is borderline ocean view right here, which is crazy. But this is kind of the feel, right? It's very much the feel. Like, there's a lot of, I'm just trying to look at just the view. Like, it's a lot of this type of view. These aren't very good pictures, but it's a lot of that type of view. Anyway, so that's, what I'm trying to articulate here is, from the map perspective, is you feel very secluded, but you're really not that far away from stuff, right? For South Orange County. If you're trying to get to North Orange County, LA, you're certainly out of the way. All right, the last thing I have as far as a pro was the planned growth, which I think the reality is here is you're gonna get even more newer, better amenities as this city continues to grow. Now, I think the main ones are pretty much done, but you're gonna get more. So I'm gonna leave it as a pro, to not drag that on too much more because we already talked about it. That's gonna be a value add to the city for sure. All right, so let me interrupt my own video real quick to share this with you. This is the home buyer negotiation blueprint. This is a full package that I went through, and I took all of our tactics and strategies to get you the best deal possible, and I tried to condense it as much as I could. And I made this as simple as easy to go through. You can read this in 20 minutes, and you will learn a lot about the home buying process and how to get the best deal. Pro tip, most people think you only negotiate on price. That's not at all. If you're negotiating on price, you're paying way too much money. So this is the easiest thing for you to go through and just learn about. Click the link in the description down below, and I will send you a link to this. Just drop your email. And then what you can do, what I highly recommend, is you actually book a buyer strategy session. Now, this is where we go through everything we do with our clients to get the best deal, which obviously will not fit in this. I did type it out. It was 126 pages, and nobody reads that much. All right, so if you want me to send this to you, click the link down below, drop your email, and then let's get back to the video. So that's the good stuff. Now, there's lots of good stuff with Rancho Mission Viejo, and the reason I spent so much time on the good stuff is there's equally polarizing not so good stuff. And let's get into the first one, the biggest one. Let's talk about Mello-Roos. So added costs. So let's just go back to this. You know what? Sure, let's go to this house right here. So 2.25, which is way above the median home price for Rancho Mission Viejo, but it's very much because of the view, and it's larger single family house. All right, so this was built in probably in 2015. Yeah, so 2015 this was built, and the HOA here is $299 for a single family residence, which isn't terrible. Honestly, it's not that bad, but that's your HOA. Now, the next thing you're gonna have, which is not gonna be on the website necessarily, is your tax rate, right? So your tax rate isn't actually that high. There's this thing called Mello-Roos. Most people are not familiar with it. So the reason I wanted to pick a house was, I'm gonna grab this address here, and I'm gonna share with you a website that I use all the time. I'm gonna put the link in the description down below. So I'm gonna go type in the address here, and what this is gonna do, you have access to this, isn't like some fancy realtor thing, is it's gonna pull the tax rate. Okay, cool. So the tax rate is 1.03%, which is pretty much standard for California, for Orange County. But, and you have Mello-Roos. You have an additional $6,700 bill that gets paid on your property taxes every year. So, all right, let's dive into this. Mello-Roos is not a property tax. It's not an increased amount of property tax. The reason why a lot of the times people have a huge misconception here is because people will include, because it's your Mello-Roos is paid in your property tax bill, people just assume it's also property tax. It's technically not. Your property taxes will go up with your home's appreciation forever. Your Mello-Roos stays the same. And what is Mello-Roos? All right, so it is a bond that the builders took out when they made the city, and that gets paid back over a 30-year period of time. So basically, when the builder was like looking at this dirt and they're like, okay, we should build a lot of houses here. They have to build roads, infrastructure, school, plumbing. They have to do all that stuff. And there's one of two ways to do it. They have to include the cost in every single basically house that sells, making the homes more expensive. Or the more popular way to do it now is through what's called Mello-Roos. So they take out a big bond and it gets paid back over 30 years by the homeowners via their property tax bills. So that's what's actually happening. So people will, this is again very polarizing. Some people are like, I'm never paying Mello-Roos because it's a lot of money, and it is. But also the houses are more affordable because of it. So like at the end of the day, here's what I've learned is home buyer, most of them are going to be looking at their down payment and their payment. And that's going to equal a purchase price. Now inside of that, the payment includes your property taxes, which includes your Mello-Roos. So if you have an extra, so $7,000 for the year. So if I pull up, let's just pull up a calculator here, right? So if I'm paying an extra $6,700 per year in taxes, divided by 12, that's an extra $558 a month, which on a mortgage calculator is roughly worth about 100 grand. So you can afford about $100,000 less house on this particular example in Rancho Mission Viejo versus like Mission Viejo, for example. So naturally, the home prices in these areas generally get suppressed a little bit, and then at some point the Mello-Roos expires. So anyway, I wanted to get into that. All right, so overall with this, you have higher costs in HOA, you have higher costs because you have additional Mello-Roos. With that, the property house, like the values of the property are generally lower because of what I explained with the payment. So like most people will either be like, oh, I don't care as long as I'm comfortable with the actual cost of it, like whatever, it's fine. Versus some people are just like, I'm not paying an HOA no matter what. If you're that type of person, you've already skipped off this video. So if you're still watching, I'm assuming you're like interested in like, okay, what do I get out of it? What you get out of it is all the amenities. Like the builders just put the cost in Mello-Roos versus into the cost of the house. And frankly, like that actually is a little bit better for a few different reasons because the house is just more affordable overall. So anyway, and when that expires, which is going to be all of 30 years from now, so it's a long time, your values are going to go through raise. They're going to go up, right? Because people won't have to pay the Mello-Roos anymore. Like for example, in Rancho Santa Margarita and Aliso Viejo, Mello-Roos is gone. So like, doesn't matter there at all anymore. And property values, go for it, increase. Okay, that's con number one, big one. Con number two, I alluded to this a little bit, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail here, but this is the commute location. So if you're commuting to LA, if you're commuting to wherever, like you're far. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. The biggest thing here is like so many people have this massive misconception of like, you're so far east, you're in the middle of, like you might as well be in Riverside. Like that's just not true. You're actually closer to the ocean than a lot of Orange County. Like most of Orange County, you're literally closer than Lake Forest to the ocean. You're closer to Irvine, or as close as Irvine, I would say, closer in Santa Ana, Villa Park. So like, it's just like people say that a lot and it's just not true. But it definitely feels like you're way out of the way. I'll leave it at that. I already talked about that enough. Con number three is limited retail and dining for now. I'd say it's still pretty limited. there are restaurants, but you're definitely gonna need to leave the city to like go do stuff. You don't have to, like you definitely, let me add a pro here. My dog scratched the hell out of me. I'm gonna add a pro here is like golf cart city. There's golf carts in every single garage. It's almost required. It's not, but like, there's golf carts everywhere and there's places to go. There's breweries, there's wineries, there's restaurants, there's definitely places to go. But there's not that much, right? It's not like I would never go to Rancho Mission Viejo for food. Maybe Scarlet. I've gone to Scarlet. It's been a while, but there's not a lot, right? So like this is common for most Orange County cities, especially the big master plan developments. You hear the same complaints with Aliso, Ladera. Aliso's got some. Ladera's got pretty much nothing. Mission Viejo's same thing. There's like 2 restaurants in the whole city. Rancho Santa Margarita has a few really good restaurants, but still, like for as big as all of these places are, to not have any good food is like kind of crazy. So that's a huge con. Last con, not the biggest at all, but like definitely still a con, is you're gonna have ongoing construction for quite some time. And you're just gonna have constant model homes for sale, new people coming in, a lot of turnover, especially in the more affordable houses. And a big part of that is people want to stay in the city. So a lot of people will buy new construction, and then new construction will pop up. They'll sell their new construction, like not so new anymore, buy the new stuff. But like you're gonna have road noise, you're gonna have construction stuff, you're gonna have all the growing pains of a new city. It's not so new anymore, so like some of that has subsided for sure. But overall, that's kind of my thoughts. Now, I know Rancho Mission Viejo is absolutely polarizing, so I'm curious in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Now, if you are looking at this and you're thinking, okay, Christian, you talked a lot about Mello-Roos. I need help figuring out what in the world is going to cost me to buy a home. I made this entire home buyer negotiation blueprint. The reason I did this is most people think there's one thing to talk about when you're negotiating a deal for real estate. It's price. And yes, obviously price is important, but there's 150 different negotiation points. So this walks through a 4 parts, basically how, like the whole entire home buying process, all the way from research to getting the best deal possible, which is what we were really good at with our company here, Onyx Homes. So if you want this full download, you can do it. And if you want to book a discovery call with our team or a strategy session, you can do that by going to the link in the description below or typing in allaboutOC.com. I hope you found this valuable. This next video is actually the very first chunk of this right here. So I think you should go check it out. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.